Now you'll learn how to be a teacher to your audience and why you would want to do that. G'day crew, and welcome back to the Do Video Podcast. I'm trying a new thing. Where our aim is to get you and your business genuinely connecting with your customers via the best method at the moment, video. Because you can see my face. I'm Zoe, the video confidence coach, your mentor, your guide, your old wizard on this journey that we have today through today's podcast about being a teacher to your customers. So let me bring you back before you run away about, like, Zoe, I didn't like school. School was hell. I didn't like it. Why would I want to be a teacher? I'm confused. Why? Let me just calm down. Let me bring you back. I'm not talking about school, and I'm not talking about that type of being a teacher and being, I'm not talking about that type of learning. I'm talking about we always need to keep learning in our lives. Once we stop learning, we're dead. As human beings, as people who want to exist in the world, it's a proven methodology that to retain more information or retain the most information that you can on a subject is to teach someone else that same thing. And as an expert, you should be always trying new things for your industry, and you should always be trying new things to keep your information up to date. So why don't you teach other people to do the same thing? And the reason I'm talking about being a teacher to your audience is because you are the expert. You are the one doing the videos. You are the one putting out the content. You are their Yoda to their Luke Skywalker. Or, if you prefer my methodology, you are their Han Solo to their Luke Skywalker. Yes, Star Wars references. But the reason I'm mentioning that is because as Yoda, you are the, wise person that's like guiding them through. You're the old wizard. I prefer that we're all like Han Solo, that we're cool and we're teaching them, as life goes and cool stuff. Now, the reason I gave you that divergent is because you want to be able to guide them in their own hero's journey. Everyone, no matter whether we like to admit it or not, we always think about ourselves, or at least we should from time to time. And when you're talking to your customer, they're in their hero's journey to fix their problem, to find a solution to their problem. And as a business owner, you should be the guide to them. You shouldn't be the hero. You shouldn't be the one going, oh, look at me. I'm the one here. No, you're not. You are the guide. You are the mentor. You are the one that's helping them achieve the solution to their problem. So in that case, you should be focusing all your energies on keeping them as a hero to their hero's journey. And very much like schooling throughout the world, I want you to focus on competence. Now, I'm not talking about competence for the student, I'm talking about competence for the teacher. As I referred to before, you are the expert. You are constantly learning, and to retain the information that you keep in your head, you need to teach others. But to do so, you need to do it first. You need to be competent in what you are teaching. So there are plenty of people out there who, became millionaires in like the late 80s. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not squandering anything like that. You did really well to become a millionaire. Go you, woo, woo, woo. But when you're teaching other people the same methodologies that you used to get your first million, in today's world, it's not the same thing. And to be able to do that, you need to teach people the competency of what you've learnt recently. So say, for example, if you're a speaker, if you're a coach or what have you, and you're teaching people to get their first million. If you got your first million in the 80s and you're trying to teach people the same methodologies nowadays, it's not going to work for them, and you're going to get a lot more failures than you do successes. So if you can prove to people, yourself and others, that you can get, your first million by Bitcoin mining. I want to say I don't know anything about Bitcoin mining, but it's a modern thing. It wasn't back when it was in the 80s, and you're showing competence that you were able to use these tools and use these modern day technologies to achieve their goal. Your goal too, but mainly their goal. So when you're a teacher, I want you to be competent in what you are teaching people. And make sure you don't lie to them either. That's a biggie. Speaking of Biggie, let's go to a sponsor. The Creative Geelong Makers Hub is a shared collection of spaces located at the ground floor of the Centrepoint Arcade, right in the heart of Geelong. The Makers Hub brings together many disciplines and skill sets, providing unique networking and collaborative opportunity for businesses, skill development, production and prototyping. Currently, our spaces include co-working, a maker space, a learn space, a studio space, and window spaces. Learn more about Creative Geelong by visiting our website, social networks, and please read our Geelong's Creative Potential Manifesto at Creative Geelong. Thank you, sponsor. Now I want to focus on, as being a teacher, you are the expert, what can you teach? So, a lot of people talk about in their business, they can talk about how to run a cafe, or they can talk about how to achieve a certain thing with their industry, or what they can teach is what their field of expertise is, which is always good. Start with what you know. But when it comes to teaching people other things, you need to remember to start from the lowest base. I don't want to say idiot, let's not say that, but someone who is interested in becoming a coach, or someone who is interested in small handyman things around their house. They don't want to become a plumber like you. That's why they hire you for. But what you can teach is small tips and tricks that can help them achieve smaller things that they can eventually build up and say, oh, I trust this guy. I trust what he teaches me. He knows his stuff. I'll hire him for when I need him, for example. So what you teach can be anything from, how to tie a tie all the way to how to make $1 million using Bitcoin mining. Obviously, somewhere along that way, you'll be turning it from free content to paid content. But along that way, you need to be able to know what you want to talk about in the industry that you so choose. You can always teach outside your industry, but you need to have experience in that industry. Don't start teaching people willy-nilly. I'm not going to teach you how to make ice cream. So you've thought about what you want to teach. Now I want you to focus on how you're going to teach it. So you can do this via a multitude of ways. I'm going to talk about video for this one specifically, but you can do this via creating free content, one-off video, or even what is best and highly recommended for 2019 or 2020, whenever you're listening to this, is creating bingeable content in a playlist or in an episodic way for people to be able to consume a lot of your content. So they build up that touch point system. We've talked about it before, where touch points are when people either see your brand, watch a video of yours, read your blog, what have you, and they need to do it 14 times before they trust you enough to buy from you. Yes, 14 times. Now, I'm not saying you have to talk to them 14 times. It's when they see you online or see you out and about in business world. They need to see you to recognize you, to trust you, and then to purchase from you. So when we talk about teaching it, you can go about doing this via online courses, using a video content course where you go through the step-by-step on how to do something via an online course system that they get, ticks, they get tests and that type of thing. You can do it via holding workshops like that we do on Video Confidence Coach. We hold regular workshops on how to do, at the moment, everything from video and video creation, like what we teach you guys here, but also we're getting into podcast editing and creation as well. So if you're in Geelong and you want to check that out, come down and check it out. But I want you to think about what would be the most effective way and the easiest way for someone to learn from you, and what is going to make more sense for them rather than what's convenient for you. So say, for example, if your customer demographic is in their mid-30s, mid-30s to early 40s, there's a good chance they have children. They probably don't have a whole bunch of time to head to a workshop out to where you are all the time, or a regular series of workshops. So what you can do is provide an online course or provide a series of bingeable videos that they can do, and they can do it in their own time. They can watch it, with the headphones in while the kids are asleep, that type of thing. Making it easy for people to consume is going to be the best bet. And the final thing I want to mention today in today's podcast is be a student too. Yes, I'm talking about being a teacher in this episode, but I want you guys to remember that you are a student too. I want you to be responsible for your own learning. And I remember at the end of primary school, and primary school for internationalists is prep, which is kind of after kindergarten all the way to year 6. I think that's like middle school for you guys in America. But after that time, when I was moving on to high school or moving on to the big kids classes, there was a large shake-up in the schooling industries and practices where I was and in the school that I was in. And what they were doing, instead of having set classes where you had groups of 25 kids, in the individual classes, what they were doing was they were opening up the whole section, and people who are in year 5 and year 6 were learning together in a huge environment. Yes, everyone had their teachers, but the point was for everyone, including the students, to be responsible for their own learning. Now, I've heard hits and misses about that, especially for people under the age of 15, but for us adults, and people who are actually, running businesses and being entrepreneurs, I want you to be responsible for your own learning. So I want you to actively go out, and you don't have to sign up to every online course you see out there, but find what methodology of learning works for you, what you're going to do regularly for yourself, and how you're going to retain that information. And say, for example, the tactic that I use is YouTube. I'm an avid YouTube watcher. In my house, I haven't watched TV in years because we don't have an antenna, and usually the content we consume is either one of two things: YouTube or Netflix, and most of the time it's YouTube. So for myself to be able to have on my YouTube feed, to be able to watch later all the ones about business, on how to perfect ourselves and how to do more, I can go back once a week and go through and note down in my Trello, which is a system, or in my notepad about things that these YouTube videos have told me that I can implement into my own business and also teach you guys. That's how I find it useful, and I know to keep learning and do this on a weekly basis so I can get this information into my head and therefore out my big mouth to you guys. And another way you can be responsible for your own learning is joining a group of collective other people. Speaking of which, we have one of those. It's called the Video Confidence Crew. The Video Confidence Crew is a group of like-minded entrepreneurs and small business owners who actually want to improve themselves on their video journey. So right there, I have a lot of is behind the scenes exclusives and all those kind of things, but I also do a lot of live talks. So if you're ever interested in coaching with me or talking to me one-on-one, you've got that opportunity in there. So feel free to join the Video Confidence Crew, where you'll be able to learn more and consistently learn more and be working with a group of other like-minded people. For a full list of sources, credits, and downloadables, check out the dovideopodcast.com website, or you can just rate our chat, our conversation, on your favourite podcasting app. Or if you're watching my beautiful face and my very interesting lipstick today, it's a new one, feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Looking for something to listen to while you wait for another Do Video podcast? Well, I have a suggestion for you. It's called the Classy Career Girl Podcast by Anna Runyan. It's perfect for professional women or women who are looking to boost their career. They have step-by-step guides on how to achieve things that you would in your daily life, and also a lot of top lists, which I find quite useful to listen to. Now, blokes, I'm not blocking you out. All I'm saying is that the podcast is called Classy Career Girl. Not everything will apply to you. Just saying. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or feedbacks, feel free to reach out to the Video Confidence Coach on our websites, on our social media, or even on Google. We aim to help you however we can, so we do have coaching packages available. So if you require any coaching, or if you want this brain and us to work together on how to perfect your video journey for your business, we've got individual and group classes, sessions, the word I meant to use, available. Thank you for engaging with us today, and don't forget to tell your crew about how to be their own teacher, guide, mentor, shaman, wise person, for their own family and friends. See you guys.